Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. I am back. I am uploading a video right now. It's like really short. It's just to let you guys know that I'm going to be making this video that I'm making right now. I don't know if I mentioned that I'm going to be making this a full-time thing now for YouTube. I probably won't be posting all the time, but I will be posting regularly each week. I have not picked a day yet that is suitable for me, or that I will not for sure, a set day each week that I will upload. But I am here to do my labor and delivery story. I'm so excited that I'm actually finally able to do it. I did have my baby girl on January 7th of this year, obviously. It was a crazy experience. Definitely not like my other ones. So I will start off with, I was 39 weeks. Yes, I went to my 39-week appointment. Exactly 39 weeks. I went to my appointment on Monday, the 6th, and I had previously messaged my doctor through our the doctor app, like where you can message your doctors and stuff. And I asked him, can you do a membrane sweep? And he's like, well, we don't generally do that. What did he say? For people, or for women that test positive for GBS. I was like, well, I had it done with my last pregnancy with my youngest son. I had it done, and I do believe that I tested positive for GBS. So I went back and looked at my test results from when I had him, because it like shows all your test results for all of your tests, like back for a few years. So I went back and I checked, and it showed positive for him. I had GBS with him, and they did it for me with him at my 39 weeks and 4 days appointment. Or 39 weeks and 3 days. Sorry if I mess with my hair. It's just I never wear it down, and when I do wear it down, I mess with it, so I apologize. So I went to my appointment, or no, I went to my appointment, and he told me that we could talk about it more at my appointment. So since my appointment was like, a few days later on the 6th, we would just wait and talk about it then. So I was really nervous that they wouldn't do it for me because of him telling me that. So when I got to my appointment and he came in the room, he's like, well, I went back and I looked, and it does show that you were positive with him and they did it. So if you really want me to do it, I can do it. They get a little worried because they don't want, bacteria getting into the baby or anything happening to the baby. So I was like, well, I would really like you to do it, only because I am progressing. It's not like, either way I will have her, and either way bacteria could get into her, because either way I'm testing positive for it. So if I have her now versus if I have her on the due date you guys had for her, or whenever I have her, it's gonna be the same outcome, I believe. So he did it for me. He did the membrane sweep on the 6th at, my appointment was at 1:30, I believe. The second I was walking down, I believe did I have anybody with me? I think I went by myself, because I think I left both of the boys with my husband. I went to my appointment, or I left my appointment. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. I left my appointment. I was walking down to the parking garage, and I started having the crampy feeling, which I knew I would have because it happens after you have that done. And it just happens generally after you get checked. He had checked me, and he told me that I went from 1 centimeter to 2.5 centimeters. And so I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting to be changed at all. And he told me I believe I was 60% effaced. So I was like, wow, that is so cool. So, I mean, I was progressing and I felt like, I was like, you know what? I feel like something's either going to happen tonight or something's going to happen in the morning or to like the next day, the 7th. Like, just something was going to happen at any point of the day. So, I told my husband, I was like, we need to go grocery shopping today because we had food. Not that we didn't have food, but just because I knew I wouldn't be able to go grocery shopping and I wanted to be able to go to pick out some stuff that I can eat. Because, you know, not being pregnant, you can eat whatever then. So we went grocery shopping, just me and my husband, because we didn't want to take the boys with us, just in case something happened. The whole way there, I did okay. I felt a little crampy. I was fine. The whole time in the store, the more we walked throughout the store, in each aisle we went down, I was feeling even more crampy. I was like, I feel like I was having contractions, but they weren't like super bad. They were just like mild contractions because I was feeling my stomach get tight and stuff, but I wasn't like in a lot of pain to where I couldn't walk. When we got to the checkout, I could barely walk at that point. I was still able to walk, but I could barely walk. I was super uncomfortable. I didn't tell my husband anything, but he noticed that I was walking really weird and I was walking really slow. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I'm just having a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. Like, I feel like I'm having contractions, but they're not that bad." And he's like, "Oh my God, are you serious? You're already feeling pain?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I was feeling pain when I left the appointment, but it wasn't bad. So, it just eventually got worse. When we were on our way home, I started crying because I was starting to be in a lot more pain. So when we got home, I helped him carry up groceries. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. And then after that, I went and laid down in my room on my bed for, I think I laid there for a total of 10 minutes. And I was like, I can't lay here no more. So my mom was in the process of giving the boys a bath for me. And she was in the bathroom. She had left the living room. I had come in the living room and I laid on the couch. When she came out of the bathroom, I was bawling. I was in so much pain. The contractions were coming quicker. I would say they were coming like every 2 to 3 minutes. And they were bad. And I started feeling like I had to poop. Like the feeling that you get when you're about to push. I felt that. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I told my mom, I was like, I feel like I gotta poop. My husband was in our room, so I was texting him because I didn't want to yell. I didn't want to have to yell to talk to him. So I was texting him, I was like, I don't even know if I could have you drive me. Because I was telling him, I was like, I feel like I need to go back in to be checked. Or just to be monitored to see if I'm actually having contractions, you know what I mean? So I told him, I was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to take me because I don't feel like I can even walk down our stairs because we live upstairs in apartments. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't want to take it. I don't want to go by ambulance, but I feel like that's going to be my only option because if I can't walk down those stairs, how am I going to get to the hospital? Like, unless they come and pick me up through the ambulance. So he's like, well, I was hoping that I'd be able to shower and blah, 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 blah. I was like, well, if I go by ambulance, you can shower really quick and head up to the hospital and meet me there. So I'm not, there by myself. You know what I mean? So, because I knew that it was going to still be a little bit, but I knew something was happening. So he called the ambulance. The ambulance came and picked me up. There was about five paramedics, all men. I was like, seriously, there's not one single lady. Not one single lady. So they asked me how far along I was, how far apart my contractions were. And I was like, well, if I knew, I would tell you. But I really don't know. I know that they've been a couple minutes at least. So they were able to kind of estimate how far apart they were by me telling them when I was starting one and when I was ending one. They hooked me up to a contraction thing. I think the machine they hooked me up to could tell, like, when I was having a contraction. They had to get me downstairs on a chair, and that was terrifying. Like, I had to put all my trust into these guys, and I mean, they didn't let me down because they didn't let anything happen to me. I didn't fall out of the chair, but it was interesting riding in an ambulance to the ER. Going through the ER, all these people in the ER that are sick, and they're staring at me, and I'm laying on this gurney having contractions. Then there's a doctor in the ER that had to check me, and I'm like, oh my god. And it was a guy. I was like, oh my god. My doctor is a guy. Like, my OBGYN was a guy, but I don't know. It was just weird that all these guys were having to take care of me. And I was there by myself. This was new to me because with my first son, I had a lot of people there for me. With my second son, I had my mom and my husband, and my friend was there. I had to give birth to my second one by myself, even though they were there. Everybody was scared to go near me. But if I haven't made a labor and delivery on him, and you would like to know about my labor and delivery with him, I will surely make one, because that was an interesting one too. But after I got to the ER and they checked me, or no, they didn't check me in the ER. They checked to see if she was coming, like if she was crowning. She wasn't, so they were like, well, we got to check you in the ER, because if she's coming, we're not going to be able to get you up to labor and delivery. You're going to have to deliver here in the ER. I was like, all right. Well, she wasn't coming, so I was able to get up to the labor and delivery floor. So they got me up there. They checked me. I hadn't changed. I was still only 2.5 centimeters. So the nurse was like, you're going to have to walk, or we're going to send you home. Pretty much. I'm just going to be like a little bit faster because it's already 11 minutes in, 12 minutes in. And it's 10 o'clock, and I have to leave in 30 minutes to go get my son. So, I got up to labor and delivery. They checked me. They told me I was going to have to walk or I would be going home. I was like, I don't think I can walk, because when I got to the labor and delivery, the room that they put me in, I told them, I was like, I don't know if I can walk anymore. Like, I barely could walk to the room. So, my husband got there. My husband eventually got there because I had to go to the bathroom, so I was in the bathroom when he showed up. And then, I was having contractions still, like, super bad, even when I went to the bathroom. So I had to sit on the toilet while I was having contractions for a minute. And then, my husband showed up. He was trying to explain to them that I couldn't walk. This lady was, like, kind of irritating, just because I was having contractions and they were very painful. It was just irritating, her telling me that I had to walk. And sorry, I think I'm getting sick because my youngest is sick. So I eventually agreed to walk. I walked around the hall twice. I had to stop like a million times because obviously I was having contractions. Like every few steps I had to have a contraction. I was having a contraction. The second time I went around, by the time I got to my room, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't walk around again. My nurse had noticed that I had walked back in my room, and she came and checked me, and she's like, well, it did it. You're at 4 centimeters and you're 80%. And I was like, oh my god. So she's like, well, you're definitely in labor now, and you can get the epidural if you want. I think I got the epidural right away because I was in so much pain, and I had to go through all those contractions, and I never had to do that with my last two. So I was like, I'm getting that epidural right now. So they were planning for the epidural. I had to get the antibiotics first, so she had to start all that and then start all my other stuff. She had to give me fluids. I had to have oxygen on for a while because my blood pressure was low. I'm not sure exactly what it was at, but I know it was really low. It was like in the 80s on top, and then I believe it was like in the 40s on the bottom. So it was pretty low. So I had to have oxygen, I guess, to help with that. And then so I'm not even telling you like the times of anything. So at 10 o'clock, around 10:30 is when I went to the hospital. By midnight, I had my epidural. And then once I had my epidural, they have to put in a catheter. So they put in the catheter, And then, you know, the nurse like went out. Me and my husband were just sitting there. I had finally been moved to my laboring room and my delivery room. So I was just laying there hanging out. We were just turning on the TV, found something to watch, and my husband was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go move my car because where it's at, I don't know if I could stay there for very long." I'm sure he parked in one of the he parked in the like labor and delivery spots that they have for like when you come in to go to labor and delivery. They have specific designated spots for you to park, so it's easier for you guys to get to the labor and delivery floor. So he was just getting ready to leave, and I was like, I don't know if my catheter fell out or if my water broke or if I what happened, but it felt really wet on my leg. It was my left leg that felt really wet. And so I was like, you go move the car really fast, and I'm going to ask the nurse when she comes back in, because she was supposed to be back in any minute. I'm going to ask her, like, what the heck is going on, like, if it could have been my water breaking, because obviously I didn't know, because I was super numb. Like, I couldn't feel nothing. And I asked her, I was like, can your catheter fall out when you have it in and stuff? She's like, no. And I was like, well, I don't know if my water just broke or what is going on, but it feels really wet down there. I was like, I know I'm super numb, but I can feel wetness down there. So she checked, she lifted up the blanket. She's like, your water broke. And I was like, no way. So she was like showing me TMI. If you guys don't want to watch this, I will put TMI in the title of this video, so that way you guys know that this is gonna be TMI. She was showing me like my mucus plug had came out. She like fully came out. She showed me like the little sack that the baby was in. I was like, that is so weird. That is so nasty. I've never seen anything like that. And then she was like, let me check you and see what you're at since your water broke, because then when your water breaks, you're like gonna have that baby soon. So she checked me, and I believe I was at like a 5 or a 6, and I think I was probably like fully thinned out. Like my cervix was fully thin. So what was I gonna say? I told my husband, I was like, well, it was my water. I texted him, and he's like, oh my god. So it's like, hurry up and get back up here. She's like, he's not gonna miss anything. It's not gonna happen like right this second, so he has time to get back up here. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad, because I didn't want him to miss anything, obviously. So he got back up there. He's like, wow, that's so crazy. And then she came in and checked me again. She goes, you are fully dilated, you are ready to give birth. So she's like, we're gonna do some practice pushes. I was like, okay. So I pushed half a push. I started practice pushing my first push, and she's like, we can't practice push. She goes, no practice pushing for you. And I was like, why? She's like, because your baby is right there. She could see my baby. She didn't even have to stick her hand in there, no fingers, and she didn't have to check me. She could see the baby right there. So if I pushed, she would have been out. So she called for the midwife to come in to deliver the baby, and she was here, and like, this was at like 2:20, because she was born at like 2:28, and I only pushed like, I think like 2 or 3 times. She told me that she would be out in one push, but the one push, I could only push with contractions because of my epidural. I could not push without a contraction, because when I was pushing without a contraction, I couldn't tell that I was pushing, so it was hard for me to push. I was pushing, and they was telling me that I was, but I was like, I feel more comfortable pushing with a contraction, so I had to push a couple more times. But then she was born at 2:28, and I will tell you guys like how much she weighs and like how long she was and blah 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 when I introduced her. So that concludes my labor and delivery story. I'm sorry if my words were all over the place. I'm sorry if I wasn't looking at the camera. Camera's right there, but it's kind of hard to like sit there and stare right there when I don't know what's going on the camera. Like, because I unfortunately have to record on my phone because I don't have a camera at the moment. Not until I get more into doing this YouTube thing. But this is going to be a full-time thing now. I'm going to be doing this a lot more. This is going to be like my job. So if you guys can, subscribe to my channel and turn your post notifications on if you guys don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, because I will be doing a lot of mommy videos, a lot of baby updates, a lot of advice videos if you guys would like to hear advice or experiences, like my past experiences with whatever. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will answer your questions in my next videos. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and leave comments down below for any videos you guys like to see from me. Any videos you guys would like me to make, you know, talking about any specific topic, I will make them. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed my labor and delivery story. She will be in my next video, don't worry. It'll be, the next video I make will be the introduction video. Hopefully, with this being 21 minutes long, I'll be able to upload it and it won't be a problem. Because if so, I'm going to have to, like, speed up my talking and do it again and then upload it. So, just cross your fingers that it uploads. So, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!